So far, we have learned how combustion works, how energy is released, and why thermodynamics limits efficiency. But what if there was another way? What if we could convert chemical energy directly into electricity without relying on flames and combustion chambers? In this final art, we will explore the limitation of combustion, understand the concept of Exergy, and discover one of the most promising clean energy technologies of our time, fuel cells. Although combustion has powered civilization for centuries, it has several important limitations. First, thermal efficiency is limited by the law of thermodynamics. Second, every combustion process generates entropy, which destroys part of the useful work potential. Third, combustion produces pollutants that can negatively affect the environment. To better understand these limitations, engineers use a concept called Exergy. Exergy is the maximum useful work that can be obtained from a system as it comes into equilibrium with its surrounding. Unlike energy, exergy can be destroyed because of reversibilities. Therefore, improving energy systems is not only about conserving energy, but also about reducing exergy destruction and increasing the useful work output. This brings us to fuel cells. A fuel cell is an electrochemical device that converts chemical energy directly into electrical energy. Unlike conventional combustion systems, fuel cells that do not burn fuel. Instead, electricity is produced through electrochemical reactions. In a typical fuel cell, hydrogen enters the anode and separates into hydrogen ions and electrons. The electrons travel through an external circuit and generate electrical power. Meanwhile, the hydrogen ions move through the electrolyte toward the cathode. At the cathode, they react with oxygen and electrons to form water and release heat. Because fuel cells avoid the combustion process, they can achieve high efficiencies and produce significantly lower emissions. One of the most common fuel cells is the proton exchange membrane fuel cell, or PEMFC. It operates at relatively low temperatures, usually between 60 and 80 degrees Celsius. Inside the anode, hydrogen molecules split into protons and electrons. The membranes allows only protons to pass through it. The electrons are forced to travel through an external circuit, producing electricity. Finally, at the cathode, oxygen combines with protons and electrons to form water. PEM fuel cells have fast startup times and are widely used in transportation applications. However, because they operate at lower temperatures, they require expensive platinum catalysts. Another important type is the solid oxide fuel cell, or SOFC. Unlike PEM fuel cells, SOFCs operate at very high temperatures, typically between 600 and 1000 degrees Celsius. Instead of hydrogen ions, oxygen ions move through the electrolyte. The high operating temperature eliminates the need for expensive platinum catalysts and allows internal fuel reforming. In addition, the waste heat can be recovered and used to generate even more power. As a result, SOFC systems can achieve exceptionally high efficiencies and are considered one of the most promising technologies for future power generation. And now, our journey reached its conclusion. We began by understanding reactive mixture and combustion reactions. We learned how mass conversion and stoichiometry determine the amount of food and air required. We then explore energy analysis using enthalpy and learn how to apply energy balance in reacting systems. Next, we discovered the concept of adiabatic flame temperature and understood that it represents the maximum theoretical temperature of combustion. We also learned that entropy generation and irreversibilities prevent us from converting all energy into useful work. Finally, we explore the fuel cells, technologies capable of converting chemical energy directly into electricity with higher efficiencies and lower emissions. This entire chapter demonstrates the true power of thermodynamics. Thermodynamics allows engineers to understand, analyze, and optimize reacting systems so that the future energy technologies become cleaner, more efficient, and more sustainable. And with that, Chapter 13, Reacting Mixtures and Combustion, clear. Mission accomplished. Thank you.